Time for some top tier speculation. Well, the WNBA Free Agency has begun slowly, but surely. We're waiting. We're waiting for something to happen, but I figured I'd keep everyone up to speed. You know, I know y'all are already up to speed, but I gotta put in my 2 cents, you know? So I'm gonna recap the things that have been going on and give some insight. If you don't know, I am actually a prophetess on the side, so I know a lot of stuff, and I can kind of predict and see a lot of things. So if you guys want that insight, you let me know. I'm here. But before we get into the nitty gritty, make sure you click down below and subscribe and follow me on my social medias to stay in touch with everything that's going on. But with that being said, let's go ahead and recap what happened already. Sylvia Fowles announced she's staying home in Minnesota. Now the Atlanta Dream has stuff going on too. They signed Megan Walker and they signed, let's all give them a round of applause, Nia Coffey. But the Sparks re-signed Ted Cooper. A little hurt by the last one, but then there were 2 players that were cored, okay? Jewel Lloyd got cored by Seattle, and Copper with the Chopper got cored by Chicago. Now, you might be like, what in the world is coring? Basically, if a team cores you, that means that they have exclusive negotiating rights with a certain player. So they can't go and negotiate. All that little free agent stuff is done, okay? You can only negotiate with the team that cored you. That's it. And that automatically offers them a 1-year deal, Supermax contract. But they can negotiate a longer deal if they want. Also, after they're cored and signed with whatever that team that cored them, they have the right to veto any trade that they're involved in, okay? So basically encourages the team and the player to work together towards a trade. And what I got from that, it seemingly kind of protects like the smaller market teams from losing stars, because it kind of compensates them a little bit. If the star ends up, they get traded, right? They get traded. You're getting something back for that star instead of letting the star walk to some forming super team or some larger market team, and the smaller market team gets nothing in return, you know what I mean? So it kind of gives the team a little protection, and it allows the player to have some say-so in where they go if they do request a trade. So it's kind of mutually beneficial, you know? So now that you have a little understanding, yes, Jewel Lloyd by Seattle, Copper with the Chopper by Chicago, which is interesting because speaking of Chicago, Diamond Deshields. Yes, Diamond Deshields says she doesn't see herself returning to Chicago. That's pretty crazy because, you know, that's where she started her journey, drafted to Chicago, and she just won a championship with them. And she was there before, obviously, Candace Parker, and the new team was assembled like the Avengers. Okay, so it's like, dang, she doesn't see herself there. But, you know, Chicago kind of chose the win now option last year. And so now they're dealing with the ramifications of that, meaning that they don't have enough Skrilla, enough paper, dough, money to sign everybody back. So I have to make some decisions. And so she said she doesn't see herself returning to Chicago, and she's met with about half the league on Zoom already. Okay, now the crazy thing to me, unbeknownst to me, why? But apparently she hasn't talked to the Atlanta Dream yet. Wow! God knows why, because to me that makes a lot of sense for Atlanta. Come on, Atlanta. Y'all could pay her. She could be the player that she was really intended to be in Chicago. She have the room to really do it. You know what? Atlanta. That's on y'all. That's y'all business. If you wanna fumble the bag, that's on you. I said it first. Atlanta. The ball is in your court, Atlanta. And then we got Miss Dolson, who is a free agent as well, a very key player in the Sky Championship. And she's narrowed her choices down to the Sky, the Aces, the Dream, and New York. Okay, let's run down the list. Sky is gonna come down to money. Like I said, it just depends on what they choose, so we don't know. With the Aces, they have Liz Cambage, who's a free agent, so you don't know how that's gonna go, and it's like, it could be a good destination for Miss Dolson if they don't re-sign Liz. You never know. With the Dream, they certainly have the room. You know, they definitely have an open center spot for her. So that could work out, but let's just talk New York. Why do we all want to go to New York? Okay, everybody I'm hearing Breanna Stewart met with New York. Why? And I'm gonna admit I'm biased and salty because they got to the playoffs instead of us last year, and the way they were taunting on IG Live didn't really sit with me perfectly well. Didn't really sit in my spirit. Really had an upset stomach. And so I'm praying on their downfall. Yeah, I'm their number one hater, so I don't really want to see them prosper. So I'm just asking, these players, why is everybody having to go meet in New York? Maybe we look at other options. I'm gonna pray that doesn't go through. I have to do it. I have to intercede on the Sparks' behalf. We got to get some sort of revenge somehow. And last but not least, speaking of some WNBA blunders, Kaiser Gondrezick got waived by Indiana. My hands are in a perfect position to do this because I don't know why either. Y'all don't know, she was last year's 4th overall pick. Tell me why Indiana has waived 2 of their top draft picks in the last 2 years consecutively. Like, what are you trying to do? What are you really gaining? And it's like, oh, they're trying to go for a big player. She wasn't gonna affect the cap, so that's cap. Like, what's the point of drafting that high if you're not even gonna try to develop them? What are you really gaining? Are you just doing it for fun? I think what they did and what they're doing is just trolling. At this point, I don't see an end goal for them. So I think that's the first blunder of this free agency. Indiana, you got to redeem yourself because we're not seeing a light at the end of the tunnel for this. Let us know. Show us something, Indiana. Talk to me. But with that being said, that's the recap for free agency this week. If anything big happens, I'll be the first to let you know. Okay, I'm going to be sitting here by the camera waiting for something to happen, some news to break. And I'll be here sitting in a ring of candles praying that people don't choose New York. I know they're going to get somebody. It's inevitable. They're going to get somebody, but I'm just going to be praying and just praying on their downfall, really. So if you guys will join me in prayer, that would be greatly accepted and greatly appreciated. Also, Athletes Unlimited is starting this week, so I'm tuning into those games because the format is it's too interesting. You can't lie. It's interesting. Also, we all know, come on, that's got to impact free agency somehow. We're going to see some matchups and stuff and some pairings that it's just exciting. So I'm going to definitely be following that. So like I said, subscribe and click the notification bell so that you know when I post, you're tapped in, tuned in. And follow my social medias so that you're caught up on everything as well. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.